What's good, everyone? What's good? What's good? I just want to make this quick video right now because this is kind of I don't want to use the word inspired, but I guess you could say inspired. But I saw Moody Mercury's live stream and I heard him say something about how he felt Libra season, how he really just didn't give a fuck anymore, and he was able to see through a lot of the pandering. And this live stream kind of made me just realize something because like me, I've really never get. I'm not gonna say throughout my whole life I really never give a fuck because like I said when we talk about dealing with blockages, sometimes blockages will make you experience certain thoughts and emotions if they're intense enough, and you have to break free and have a strong mind within the emotion. So it's not about just saying, well, I don't give a shit, which is good, but it's also about being in a situation where you may feel like you give a shit, but you're able to look past the thoughts and feelings and know your reality. So that's really what not giving a shit is. But this video, it's also that as well. Not just that's what it is. It's also that as well because sometimes you're forced in a situation where you do give a shit and you do have you care what people think through certain ways and mechanisms. Because I'm not gonna act like that anything we're trying to accomplish is overnight. Everything we're trying to accomplish, whether it be working out, building muscles, building energy, chi, thoughts and forms, it could take some people maybe overnight, but it could take time. So sometimes you have to be able to, like, you have to know how to fight without a gun. Yeah, it's good to have a gun, but if you don't have a gun, you need to know MMA technique. So just like it's good to know to not give a shit, but sometimes if you're in a mindset where things can bombard you and there's so much pressure, you need to know how to think on your feet and know how to look beyond thoughts and feelings. And even though you're feeling something and you're thinking it, you spiritually know better. So this is what I want to talk about, and on not, I want to expound more on not giving a fuck because a lot of things I do on my thing is to help you to not give a shit no more. Qigong, fasting yoga releases blockages, allows you to be embody who you spiritually are. Therefore, you know what to do because not giving a fuck also correlates to you knowing what you need to do. Like a lot of people think they got to go on YouTube and go to these stupid dumbass content creators, which 99% of them are fake, dumb. Bro, that shit's getting exposed. And they're when they go to the content, they don't learn shit. They say, "Oh, you need to do this, you need to do that," and you have people. How do I go within? How do I wake up? Like when somebody asks me, "How do I go within?" That shows me how lost society has gotten its people, how fucking dumb people are, because going within is something natural. You didn't No one had to tell you how to eat, nobody had to tell you how to breathe. So how can somebody tell you how to be yourself? Like that's a natural occurrence we all have to be. So it all stems to not giving a shit. When you don't give a shit, you can be yourself more, you can do more, you're able to see reality more. So this is what we need to start doing. It's also not about just not giving a shit for ourselves. It's about this not giving this system any attention. We give so much of our energy to this system thinking that they know stuff or they need to help us, or no, we know, you know everything you need to do. All these motherfuckers, you trying to go watch your book, and don't get me wrong, there's some content creators out there, and even the ones who know a lot, and me and shit, how the fuck did they get there? So you don't need any of this shit. You just need to know how to be yourself and know how to express yourself and not let any of this shit come and dissuade you, because right now there's a lot of spiritual warfare. Saturn and Aries, Neptune and Aries, that's spiritual warfare. Neptune and Aries, that's spiritual war. Saturn is reality. Aries is war. Neptune is spirituality, it's crime, all that. So identity theft, spiritual war. It's gonna be a war on you in general, whether it be identity theft from the crimes, because Neptune, we got that going to Aries, the attack on you. It's gonna be an attack on people. It's gonna be, so you gotta make sure, especially it's gonna be a spiritual war and a war on the self. There's gonna be a lot of fucking shit being played. So if you're not really prepared in the next coming years, nigga, it's gonna be. This is why I say you really have to know what the fuck you're doing out here. You have to know yourself, because you have to create your own spiritual navigation systems. That they have GPS, there's SNS. So we have our spiritual navigations that's supposed to guide us everywhere, and you can't access that if you're not being yourself and you're carrying what a lot of these dumbass people think. Because a lot of these people, they're operating on a script and a program. They don't know what they're doing. These are the same people they every fucking every other week they're in a mental flux because they have a whole bunch of shit aligning their charts. They got a bunch of moon returns, and they're not doing their shit. So these are the people who are every month are being bombarded by these signs, and they're always miserable and they think it's normal. That's why they're promoting all this shit on YouTube about everybody getting fired and laid off and how society sucks. And Gen Z thinks that, oh, we're awake and we don't want to work, which is good. But the second thing is, like, you'll see Gen Z, they'll complain about, oh, we don't want to work and everything, and fuck society and everything, and which is good and everything. You don't want to work and it's good that they're not working. But the thing is, when Gen Z gets older, like in their 40s, 50s, they're going to start realizing how fast and how quick life is, and all the shit they wanted to do, how like they didn't do it. And they felt like they had the world to do it, but then they didn't. And I see that happening in the way they talking, and how the people don't just really give a fuck about nothing. They're gonna manifest early deaths, and like I just see a lot of Gen Z being very regretful in the future if people don't get their shit together. There's a lot of people in general just being highly regretful because things that they thought they can do. Like, you have all these people, like, oh, we have all this abundance, we have all this opportunity to do this and that, but they're so caught up on all this opportunity and how we're in a new time, not realizing that all the time's going by, and then you won't even have time to do shit, or they may put laws in place that they're gonna shut up everything. So that's why I say you got to really be like on your shit right now, because it's a spiritual war right now, and it's just gonna get deeper. Like I said, with these planets going, it's just crazy. And like the thing, everyone wants to live a comfortable life, which that's the thing that really gets everyone. Everyone feels like the purpose of life is to be comfortable, and that's they sell you that shit so these corporations can make a lot of money. And the reason they want to make a lot of money is because they need money. Everyone's hurting right now, and you guys don't understand, like, all this corporate shit and these businesses, Walmart, you don't understand how much of their money is predicated off people not being themselves and off people being lost in their desires. Once people start waking up, this is why a lot of the system is coming down. A lot of people are going broke. These companies are going broke. They don't have as much money because not as much people are are giving the system energy. They're not purchasing shit. They're not working. They're not buying shit. And even the people getting money, they want to save their money. They want to do so. The system's already going down. So you can kind of see it. This is just a little bit. So imagine if people really were on a spiritual path, the whole system will have to change. All these corporations and shit, the only reason they have power is because people believe in that shit. So, like, all this comfortable living, this shit is sold to you on a silver platter. Like, this shit is crazy, and like, people think it's fucking cool, and it's, well, I'm living comfortably, I'm chilling, and they don't understand, like, this shit will have you regretting certain things in the future, and you're gonna be like, none of this shit was worth it. And a lot of the shit you got lost in it within desires, you probably will be in a situation where you don't even like that shit no more. So you're gonna be like, I don't even fucking like this shit. I wasted all my fucking time, and I don't even fucking like this shit no more. I don't even want to do this shit. And then you're gonna be regretting. You won't be able to do the things you want to do. That's one of the weapons. Like a lot of you guys talk about weapons is them just censorship and all that. That's one way, and them attacking on the internet, we all know. But there's also of getting you to waste your time. So now 1 year, 2 years go by, you didn't do what you're supposed to be doing, and then now it's like, you see what I'm saying, like the way the world is going and shit. Like I told you that, well, I don't really want to speak on anything like that really, but yeah, don't have any regret. Do what you got to do. You got to be yourself in this time, especially with the, like, Saturn going to Aries. That's all about being about yourself, worrying about yourself, doing your thing. And I'm not saying you can't go and build and do shit with other people, but you got to understand, like, most people aren't on shit. It's sad to say, and I don't like to say this, but this is a fact. This is not no me just saying. This is actually a fact. Most people are gonna fail at life, and you can already see it. You can see it play out. Most people are gonna fail at life. These people who run this, they got humanity under a mental spell right now. Like, and it's so subtle. Like, it's so deep, and it goes from across all ages, gaps, races. Like, you'll see a Pan African, they're under a spell. You may see somebody who's a Christianity, they're under a spell. You may see somebody who's into Hinduism, they're under a spell. You see somebody who's into sports, they're under a spell. They all have a certain rapport when it comes to that, like, Masonic Jewish thinking, and they have control over that intellect. So 99.9% of people, you guys got to understand, are under that spell. And what makes it dangerous, and what is actually in a way more dangerous, is the people who are under that spell. And them being under the spell has religious properties to it, like Pan African and all these Hinduism and all these, like, these religious things, and people who think they're spiritual, like the black people are like this, and Anunnaki, like, that's dangerous because they think those are the ones who are against the system and against the government, but yet they're under the spell. So that shit's fucking really dangerous, and that's really what's really stagnating this shit, because nothing can move, because you got people thinking they're on their own, but they're really not. At least if everybody knew they were in some fucked up shit, it will at least, it will be a breaking point. But like right now, is they can't get to that breaking point because a lot of people who are awake, who they real. This is why you'll have a situation where everybody knows the government, the Illuminati exists. Everyone knows about the Illuminati, but how the fuck is they still able to operate and not be fucking exposed and being talked shit about and just being like, get this shit out of here? Like, we're not bringing this shit here. Like, this shit is fucking stupid. Why is it? Because of what I just said. Like, everyone's stuck in that fucking, that they're stuck. They're not able to go over that hump because they believe in shit that was created by the same people that they hate and they despise and that they think they're against and that they think their information didn't come from, because they're fucking retarded. So, like, you don't want to get caught at it. And that's a lot of these, like, just, I don't want to just keep saying the same type of people. It's like fucking a lot of people, like, even ones I didn't name. There's people that take on that same bullshit ideology, and it's fucking crazy. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to Jackie New. Shout out to Mike Demon. Yeah, it was good with it. But I'm just trying, like I said, like, this shit's crazy, man. Like me, I've never really gave a fuck about, like, this system, like, or just, I just never really gave a fuck in general. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys and say I've always felt like that. And there's been times like I feel like I'll give a fuck and it will piss me off, but then I would just act accordingly and just do my own shit. But like I said, we can't give a shit no more about nothing. You got to be your own. Be your own. Like, don't think that there's a blueprint on how to act and how to be or how to have this or how to, like, even like you see people tell you, oh, how to have a channel, how to grow your channel. Like, shut the fuck up, nigga. You can't tell anybody how to fucking grow a channel out here. You can't tell nobody how to make money out here. You can't tell nobody how to fucking even be spiritual. Because think about it. You have people tell you about finance and tell you, oh, you can make money from finance. Watch my course. We already know that doesn't work. You can gain weight. Do this. We already know that doesn't work for most people. Get spiritual. You know, most people ain't spiritual. So obviously, and you have to connect all of them together. So people can't make money off finance channels by following what they say, and they still don't have luck. The same with spiritual channels. You see it play out. There's people who watch spiritual channels all day. They dumb as a fucking rock. There's people who fucking watch weight loss videos. They still fat as fuck. They go to the gym 7 days a week. They can't fucking lose no fucking weight. It's because it's the energy within it. Are you really doing it, or are you just half-assing it? You got to really be about this fucking shit. You don't want to be sitting there playing games with this shit. I kind of forgot where my point was, but, like, just because somebody's watching something doesn't mean that it's going to affect them and it's going to make them, like, good. Like, you got to put in the work. There's no shortcut. You can't just sit there and watch a finance. That's why when I see people tell you, oh, how to get big, how to get this. First of all, you can't tell me shit, because even if you did get 100,000 views or you got $100,000, I don't know how you got that money. You could have got it given it to you. You could have got it handed it to you. You could have been whatever. You could have been a fucking some type of artist, and you know how to fucking draw a masterpiece. I can't fucking draw, so I can't make money fucking from drawing, doing it. So I'm gonna have to go about a different way of getting it. So no one can tell you how to really get any type of money, spirituality, even spirituality. They really can't tell you, because if that was the case, nigga, the world wouldn't be in the situation it's in. You see how I'm not gonna. There's not that many smart people in the spiritual community, but the ones that are, there's people that watch their channel and they get views. But when you even see some of these people, they'll, like, after the comments they leave, even if they even have a channel where people could call in, some of these people are just fucking idiots. But yet they've been following this person for like how many years? But yet you see this person's a dumbass still talking about religion, Islamic, Christianity, and all this bullshit. And I'm like, so nothing can really, you just gotta have it fucking in you. If it ain't in you, then it ain't in you. You gotta just come back a whole bunch of more lifetimes and go through a whole bunch of trials and tribulations and pain and suffering within those lifetimes to learn lessons and shit. And that's just how it is. You either have it in you or you don't have it in you. And we're at a point right now where that's it. No one can really tell you. If you don't get it right now, then at this point, you're just a fucking idiot because everybody's on their cell phone, everybody's on social media. You don't know how many times I'm walking around, going out, and I just hear people, just see people on their phone, and I'll look what they're looking at. They on TikTok. I remember back in the day when I was like in high school, when you were on your phone, it was when you were looking at your phone because I was in a time where social media just came up, but it wasn't really as much as it is now. So I was like in the beginning, like my age group. So when you had a cell phone or like a smartphone or a phone, it wasn't really smartphone, but when you got a phone and you were always looking at it, people thought you were texting somebody or you were talking to somebody or you were popular. You were looked at as somebody who was social because you were usually the females that always have their little sidekicks and be texting, or it'll be the dudes who probably got a lot of bitches or somebody, or and they be on their phone. So people looked at on your phone, you texting, and nowadays it'll be even a joke where when niggas will pull out their phone in high school and pretend like they on it. Niggas be like, nigga, stop, you don't got nobody to talk to. But nowadays, when you see somebody on their phone so much, it's like, nigga, it's the opposite. Like, you a fucking loser. You watching your social media. So I'm looking at everyone's thing. I'm seeing everybody on TikTok, everybody on YouTube, and then they watching dumb shit. And I see this old ass nigga, like one of my neighbors. He's old and he's like a Filipino. He's old and he's just chilling. And like I see him, he's talking about, I look on his phone, he's all listening to like I hear like the little fucking TikTok bitch voice, you know, the robotic AI voice. I'm like, I hear my nigga watching TikTok videos and shit. I'm like, this nigga with your old ass. I'm like, nothing wrong. He's cool. Shout out to him. He's cool and everything. Like he be hooking me up and like helping me and like not help me, but like he's cool and shit. Like I'm not gonna talk down upon him. It's like a family friend and shit. So I'm not gonna talk down upon him. But it's just crazy. But I don't know, man. I'm just sick and tired of like we gotta wake the fuck up, like, cause we really have to like, and this is for everyone for their own sake, not really for any. Do this shit for you. Don't do it for anyone else, cause really, like, the world's gonna keep going. We're gonna, because this shit ain't gonna go on forever. Just know that this shit ain't gonna go on forever, and it's already crumbling down. Like I see it little by little. So as you see, this is part of the reason you see a lot of this shit going down and inflation. You see them attacking more, and they're gonna do more. They're gonna have more AI surveillance and AI databases. But all of this shit and all the technology and all the crap they do is really not even important or cool. Because if you really think deeply about every single thing that they have in the Matrix, it's only predicated based upon what they do, so they can implement it. So why would you need AI? Like a lot of you guys think AI is so cool and so next level, but if you really think about it, you wouldn't need AI if you were on a certain level of awareness and consciousness. It's like you can talk about how, I got a new Ninja smokeless grill oven. It's $800. It cooks the meat so fresh and it's so top of the level, innovative, top tech, and it's $800 smokeless grill. But if you don't eat, that's a waste of money. So that technology is really only to somebody who even eats, and even somebody who eats doesn't eat meat. It's still fucking a piece of shit. So a lot of this technology is only predicated on the system they put you in. A lot of these, just like the laws, the crimes, is all created for this system. Like this is why even some criminals and rapists and sex offenders, they solely exist because of the government. The government is like 99% of the reason why rapists, pedophiles, all these people exist, because the way they create the laws, the systems, and like certain programming and shit, which is creates people to be like that and shit, because they're fucking crazy and they're like that. So like it's all projection. So you guys got to keep that in mind. Like this whole society is fake. This whole society, it's all full of shit. It's all fake. Don't take it serious. But when I say that, take your life serious, but don't take it serious. Like me, I do my key. It's weird because a year ago I used to kind of be like, I didn't like to do my qigong in public. It's so weird. And I remember I was doing it like I always used to do it in the house, or I'll do it in the backyard, or I would never do it out in public. But like I know it's like recently I've been just doing it out in public because I'm just putting the energy out there. Like I don't give a fucking shit. And it's funny how like when I was giving a shit, I noticed people like look, and then they won't like nobody really said anything disrespectful. There was some one kids that were running their fucking mouth, but they're little. I went upside the head, but they're little ass kids, and I was like, they're just laughing and shit. But I like before, like people like look at me or they're like laugh a little, but then like keep walking. But like now, like I don't give a shit no more. So I literally be doing it in the middle of like fucking like I don't care. I just do it in the middle of whatever. Like I remember I did it in a parking lot just to do it because I was like hella mad and shit. Because like usually when I'm like upset and angry, sometimes like it gives me like a boost of really not giving a shit. So then I get a whole bunch of shit done. that I probably didn't get done, or like even like the way like my Qigong, like I used to like not like to do it in public because I didn't want to attract attention or whatever. Like I don't want people looking and just kind of annoying. But recently, like probably like 3-4 months ago, I don't give a fuck anymore. Like when cause I started doing it 3-4 months ago in June or July, but like now I don't give a shit. I do it anywhere, and I know it's like nobody gives a shit. They just walk by and they don't give a shit. But I know it's when I actually feel like I care. Like I'll be like kind of like I hope no one's looking, and I'll be like doing my Qigong, and I'll be like, or not just with Qigong, but with anything. I'm like giving a fuck. Then that's when I notice is like I have an aura, and then people probably pick up and then they smell it or whatever, and then they're like, and then they start doing things that kind of like egg on that emotion that I'm in. So this is why I'm saying, and sometimes you may not be able to help it because, like I said in the beginning of my video, sometimes you may be in a state where you like you don't want to give a shit, but you give a shit. But when you're in that state, this is why you have to be strong enough to look beyond your thoughts and feelings. You never want to be because even if you say I don't give a shit, I don't give a shit, not giving a shit is a thought and feeling, which is good to not have that. But like I said, you want to be strong enough to, even when you have a thought and feeling, able to say, you know what, fuck this, I'm still gonna keep going. And then as you do it, eventually it will fade. The feeling of you not wanting to do it, it will fade. Because in reality, things happen. Don't let anyone tell you think that they just really don't give a shit about, or like they really like sometimes because we're bounded by nervous system, and sometimes these nervous systems can act in a way. And even people who they may have a stronger way of containing it, don't think they're better than you. Just their nervous system is just working. It's just if you have a TV with a broken HDMI cord, you won't be able to get signal. If it works, it's gonna get signal. Is that TV better than the other? No, this TV could be an $8,000 fucking 8K TV, and that's like a cheap ass 420p, whatever. It doesn't mean shit. If this shit's not working, it's not going to work. This is how a lot of you niggas are. You're more intelligent. You have a stronger spirit, but your systems and your nervous system is not working. So therefore, you're having more emotional disruptions and shit. Whereas this person's a fucking idiot, but yet they may look healthier. They may, they're glowing, or they're healthier. They look, but they're dumb. They're dumb as a rock. They have no substance to them. It's like a fucking it's like a generic fucking some generic heroin or some shit, or like it still gets you fucked up, but it's not the same as the real shit. You like the real shit, they like the generic shit. It looks good, but when you take it, it ain't that good. There's no substance to it. But that one, it looks the same, it looks good, but when you take it, it has substance. Like you get the Great Value brand or you get the real brand, one has more substance, is more fulfilling, and that's the reason why it's great value. Like a lot of these great value ass spirits out here, they ain't shit. Only thing they can show you is I'm glowing, or I have a high vibration, but you a fucking dumbass and you have no substance and you ain't shit. And if the right situation were to come across you, I bet your ass would go back to that low vibration because you ain't built like that. you ain't cut from that fucking spiritual cloth. So you're really not shit. And even to get to where you were at, it didn't even take nothing really. So it's like at that point, I'm not even hating on people who are on that spiritual level. If you're on that spiritual level, actually you don't have blockages, so you can learn more and experience more and learn more to become a powerful spirit because you don't have a lot of bullshit you're dealing with. But what gets me fucked up is when these bitch ass niggas think that they reach some type of enlightenment. Like, bitch, sit your ass down. You're not enlightenment. Ain't nobody reached no damn enlightenment in this fucking on this planet. That's why your ass is fucking here. Ain't nobody 99% of people ain't reached no fucking enlightenment. And if you did, you reached it in the past life, and then you fell down and you coming back here to reach that shit again and do it again in a different way. That's what's going on. Ain't nobody reached no enlightenment. They're like, oh, reached enlightenment. And maybe to your situation, like maybe you reached enlightenment in your situation, but at the same time, niggas, that goes to all levels. Like somebody can reach enlightenment because they fucking, I guess, because they cured their cancer or whatever. Like that's a good thing, but is that reaching enlightenment, or they just bad at their situation and got better from it? Like you kind of look at it like that because a lot of these people, they're not. What have you been enlightened to? Yeah, you got your situation right. Maybe you got money. Maybe you got your health in order. That's good, but don't say that you're enlightened. If you got enlightened and that was part of the enlightenment journey, then okay, that's a different story. But I don't really see ain't nobody enlightened at all. Talking about all this great awakening and enlightenment. A lot of that shit is all fake. It's all bullshit. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying spirituality and all that is, but spirituality is what it is. It's an experience. And what we're experiencing, and we're always growing. All this great awakening. What the fuck is awakening? There ain't no fucking awakening at all. There's people that obviously are aware of some shit. And even if you want to say there's people that are aware, 99%, I'll say 90% of people that are aware is only because of social media. If you took away this fucking cell phone and social media, there wouldn't be no awakening or awareness. So if you want to talk about there's an awakening and awareness, you have to predicate that shit on a bunch of Masonic Jewish shit, because they brought social media and internet here. And that's the only reason 90% of people are actually in the knowing of what the fuck is halfway going on, is because of that shit. People are just glued to their screen. That's it. You can't really put um that much pressure, or not pressure, but you can't put that much fucking like credit on people just waking up because they intelligent, they smart, they got some spiritual divine connection. Get the fuck out of here. Most people got spiritual divine connection to Jesus Christ. So, and then they try to morph that and mix it with other shit, thinking they know something. But yeah, this world's a fucking mess right now, dude. This is why I say you guys got to be really on it. Shout out to Jackie New. I hadn't seen you in a minute. I was like, what's Jackie New? I see you had a channel. It's funny. I checked. It's funny you on the live right now because I just looked at your channel and you had, because I looked at your channel before, you didn't really have videos, but I guess you started making videos and I see you doing tarot. So if you're doing tarot, that's what's up. So shout out to Jackie New. She's like the only real, probably one of the only real tarot readers on this bitch. So if I do look at tarot, I'll look at her tarot. Because most people, I don't even, like tarot. I'm not saying tarot is not true, because tarot is very strong and that is true. But the thing is, it's tainted and it has a lot of bullshit. So it's like that's why I don't even watch other people's tarot. I just said, let me just learn it and do it myself. If I'm gonna even do it and learn it, or I'll learn it, watch it from few people. But I don't just this is because I don't trust the internet no more at all. And I told you guys that the YouTube and all this was the new Hollywood. I told you guys this. Let me read her question. My bad. Sometimes I be rambling and shit, so like I ramble off, and then I'm gonna read the question because I be just rambling and be all over the place at times. But further, I go this with my throat chakra. Even when I'm done, my nervous system be pissing me off. Yeah, you have to. That's because the nervous system is real. Because each person is different. Everybody. Some people don't have as bad block. This is why you don't hear about information about like what I'm just telling you when it comes to like nervous system and it blocking, because most people they don't have it, so at that point they have no business really on speaking on health and how to really heal nobody, because they haven't even really healed them. They haven't really done shit for themselves in terms of healing. All they did was just take some fucking Advil or Tylenol and medicine, and they got better. That's the equivalent of their spiritual journey. They didn't really actually remove anything. So this is why like no one speaks about it. I actually speak about it because I've experienced it, and there's very few people, and most of the people who have that intense spiritual block, they either didn't go through it, or they, like I said, they either didn't go through it or they don't know how to fix it. So you have people that are extremely autistic, extremely like schizophrenic and Down syndrome. I won't say autistic, because autistic could be more so of a like some other shit with the government crap. But you see people like certain like mental retardation. A lot of that has to do with blockages. Not autism, that's some other shit. But when it comes to certain mental retardation, that has to do, because I was this video I seen years ago. It was like about chiropractic. It was a girl, she had like some type of Down syndrome or mental retardation. I don't think it was autism, because autism, that spine couldn't fix it, because that's something to do with um something, I don't know what, I don't want to keep saying shit because I don't want them to ban this channel, but it's probably something with that. But it was like Down syndrome, and the chiropractor was adjusting her neck, and over like a course of months, you know how like people who have Down syndrome, they kind of slur when they speak and they kind of sound slow, like that was disappearing. And like over a course of like 6 months of her going, and some people say the video is fake, but I when I felt the energy, I knew the energy wasn't fake. I could feel it. I didn't think this video was fake, and even if people want to say it's fake, I know that's possible. So even if I didn't see that story, I knew what I'm about to tell you guys is possible. So even after 6 months, like her voice started changing and she didn't sound retarded. So like, and when I seen this lady after 6 months, she seemed like a normal person. So like you be seeing a lot of these retarded people and you be thinking, oh, this person's retarded. They don't know. These people are very conscious and aware. It just, their brain is not working. So they're aware and they know like they're slow, but they can't express themselves any other way. Because as she was getting better, she started talking like a normal person. Like nobody had to teach her how to talk or how to do anything. It's like So these are like normal fucking people. So the reason why when she went to the chiropractor that happens because the spine, it houses the nervous system, it houses all the energy flow. So depending on the spirit, your karma, your lessons, the blockage in your spine can be severe. I'll say there's like three severities, the blockages in the spine. There's different levels of blockages. There's the regular blockage where you may have a little tight tension, or when you sleep at night and your neck is sore. That's the first level of block. Or maybe you working at and you've been at the computer desk and you're on the computer and then you have a blockage. That's the first level of a blockage. Then you have the second level, which is more so it causes lasting pain. So you may have like a back pain you've been struggling with for like 3-4 months, and then after 3-4 months it's still there, and then you don't work it out, it's still there. Even if you work it out, it gets better, but it takes a while. That's like a second level. So it's like a moderate level where it causes lasting pain and the blockage is more ingrained. So the misalignment of the nervous system is like it's molded. You look at like a mold. um Something gets molded or welded together. Like when something is just glued together, it's not as strong. You can pull it, but when something is welded, it's like it's solidified in there. And when something is like morphed or conjoined, like a conjoined twin, then it's like it's part of it. So this is look at the blockages. Like the deeper the blockage, the more engulfed it is. So and the more it becomes a part of you. So this is the second level where you feel the pain all the time physically, and you're just always hurting, or you can't move right. That's the second level. And then we got the third level, which is spiritual. So this is when the blockage is so intense. Not that many people have this, but very few. This is why you don't hear nobody speak about it like I speak about it. This is the third one. It's where it gets so ingrained it becomes a part of your subconscious, your consciousness, your reality, and even your movement. So certain triggers, certain things people say, you may just get upset, but you can't control it. And then when somebody says something or somebody does it, you get upset, and then you feel guilty, or you feel embarrassed. Like, why did I let that trigger me? Don't feel guilty or embarrassed. That's because your nervous system isn't working properly. So you have to. You got a third level, like it's ingrained. So it's like that blockage is welded. So you need to do a lot of intensive work. It may take 3, 4, 5 years to get it. But the thing is, once you release that block, you're going to be more aware. You're going to have better sight, better hearing, better taste, because you're going to be so like keen to the reality, because you've got your senses in order, because it's like the opposite. So once you get this state is what very few people have, and it takes months, years to actually remove and eliminate this blockage. But when you have this blockage, it causes it's more spiritual, it's more mental, it affects your thoughts. So you may be having depression, anxiety, you may be scared, you may be fucking just have anger, you may have fucking even sexual dysfunction where you either your shit ain't working or it's working too much, where you want to fuck too much, and but you have depending on the part of the body and what you're dealing with spiritually, it's gonna affect you. So let's just say you're dealing with depression and anxiety, or let's just say extreme emotional upheaval, anger, whatever, or just extreme emotional upheaval, whether it be depression, anxiety, anger. That shit is ingrained. So therefore, there's gonna be a certain situation you went through in your life, and that situation is gonna get you mad or piss you off. But the thing is, you're gonna think that's the reason that you're mad. You're gonna think that, oh, it's because my dad beat me up, or it's because I was this, or let's just say you're female, you got raped, whatever. You're gonna say it was because I was raped, that's what fucked me up. But no, that's not the reason. It's because of the blockage. But then that thought is like egging on the pain. Because if you release the blockage, you'll still have that thought and you'll still remember it, but you're not gonna give a shit about it. In all actuality, that event is going to actually power you to actually be the greatest version, because trauma can only extremely power you to be great. This is why some people just don't give a shit, because they've been through so much. Like me, I've been through a lot of shit, so I don't give a shit what anybody thinks about me. But that's because I'm on the opposite spectrum of it. Or you can go on the other one where you let the trauma beat you down, you feel embarrassed by it, you're depressed, and you just don't do shit. But either or, it's not going to be in between. This is why you got to deal with your blockages, so you get to the state where you don't care. Because once you deal with it, especially if you got severe blockages, and once you deal with it, then no one can tell you nothing. You're very stern, and you know what you need to do. No one can sway you, move you, because you know what's going on, and you can even actually see blockages in other people. and see when they're projecting in their own bullshit and problems. So like this is why you always got to be very like aware of your energies and what's going on. But most people don't have that third level. Oh, to be honest, I actually think a lot of people have that third level. To be honest, like a lot of people have it. Like this is why, like even when you see people out here, like they're out here, they do the shit they do, and they can't control themselves. A lot of these people they have blockages, and it's affecting their subconscious. Fucking a lot of the crimes and shit that are committed on a daily basis is a lot of people they don't have knowledge and information. Well, they have it, it's just they don't choose to. And I blame partly society. I'm not gonna just blame people because people society makes it where it pushes people in directions without knowing it to not do certain shit, and it keeps people busy. But a lot of people they have these blockages and then they don't know, so they go in and commit these crimes, they commit these things, they do all this shit and then they get in trouble, and or not even a crime, it could even be opposite victims. Like you could have so much blockages where you're attracting criminals maybe. And blockages aren't just in the body, blockages play out physically. So it doesn't just have to be in you could be somebody who's healthy as fuck and they have all the emotional thing, but then they have a blockage where they something external keeps happening to them and they have to deal with that shit. And if they don't know, then you're gonna see how that doesn't, like they're gonna be complaining while nothing happens to them, while they can't find the right partner or whatever, not knowing like there's something that they're not doing right. It's a blockage. So right, because oh, let me read you. It was good with it. I'm gonna read some of these comments. Hell yeah, Chauncey, break it down. This is good information. Yeah, like for real. Like, and a lot of people they don't know they a lot of people don't know they have these blockages. They don't. And because I would like to give people the benefit of the doubt, but when I see the state of the world, a lot of people have these blocks. This is why a lot of niggas get killed in the hood. A lot of shit happens because people are dealing with a lot of these blockages. They don't know what's going on. And then they say, go see a psychologist, go see a therapist. Never ever go see. I'm not saying the whole concept of a therapist, I'm not saying that doesn't work. But think about it. Who the fuck is out there really like that you could go to and pay somebody that insane amount of money to have them help you, and then they can tell. Like I'm looking at it like I'm not just sitting there hate. I'm not just saying this because I hate the medical system, because I do fucking hate the medical system. But I'm not just saying it just because I'm saying this. Like look at it. Like why would I go see a therapist and they're dumber than me? Like I don't get it. Like why would I go see a therapist and they're dumber than me? Like most of these, like I've seen therapists before, because my parents back when I was like younger, I remember they told me to go see a therapist and shit, and I've seen a few of my day. So I'm not just saying this out of I've seen a few of my day, and I remember like no, even when I started fucking fasting and shit. Like back in 2020, when I was staying with my parents, they got mad. They're like, "Oh, you need to see a therapist." I'm like, "I don't need to see no therapist." Like, "Oh, you can't stay with me unless you get to see a therapist." I remember I seen the therapist once. I only went one time, and then after that one time, I just stopped going. And I just said, "I'm not going no more. I don't need to go anymore." And they stopped making me go. But this was like fucking like back in 2019 when I started doing my fast. They thought I was killing myself and going crazy, so they're like, "Oh, let's go see a therapist." That was the last time I went. And then when I went to go see that fucking therapist, and I remember I went to go see the therapist, and it was an Indian dude, and this dude's a fucking idiot. Like he was talking about, oh, you need to eat and you need this. I'm like, shut your stupid ass up. You're a fucking retard. I'm like, teacher. And then every time when I'll say something, and I don't, because one thing about me is I just speak. Like you guys know, I love to give information, and when I talk to you guys, I just drop information. But when I be talking to people who are like they say they have a medical degree or they've been to college or there's somebody in a position where they think they're smarter than some young nigger kid that they think I'm a nigger or all this shit. You see what I'm saying? Like they think they're smart. Oh, he's just some nigger kid. Every time I just talk like I'm talking to you, that gets them offended. Like they'd be like, how do you know that? What school did you go to? You don't know that. Like, I don't think that's the reason. I remember last time I went to the fucking bike shop, and because that's one thing about me. I sometimes I act like I know what I'm doing and shit. I went to the bike shop, and I want my bike was like, it was something wrong with my bike. This was a couple years ago, and I went to the guy. I'm like, "Can you fix this for me? This is the part that's messed up?" And he's like, "I don't think that's messed up." I'm like, "Yeah, that's the part. It's messed up." And then he went and he did it, and he's like, "No, it's not this part. I've been doing this for years." And then that made me realize, like, I don't know what I'm doing all the time. But that was a bike. But because I always because I'm always in a state where I know what the fuck I'm doing when it comes to most things. So I'll go and tell people like how to do it, and then they'll tell me that's not how it is. And sometimes I'll be wrong, which if I'm wrong, I said it. But when it comes to spiritual shit, I'm not fucking wrong. And so I was speaking some spiritual shit to the other nigga, and he got mad and offended, talking about, oh, you don't know this and that, and he wanted to argue with me. What school did you go to and all this? And I'm like, nigga, shut the fuck up, bitch. I don't got to tell you anything. I'm telling you what the fuck I know and what the fuck is correct. You don't have to believe it or not. I'm not trying to prove to myself that that shit's correct. I don't need to prove it because I know it's fucking correct. You need to prove it. So, bitch, that's your problem. Don't project that shit onto me. And I said something along to that manner, and I just kept it moving. I'm not gonna argue with you, bitch. I know what the fuck I'm saying, and like you're acting like what I'm saying, I'm like trying to teach somebody and whatever, which I do teach you guys, but everything I'm fucking saying, I practice on myself. So I'm not gonna tell myself something that's gonna cause me detriment or harm. You fucking idiot. So I'm not just saying this out of nowhere. Like most of these people out here, they're fucking idiots because they they care about their ego. They don't care about actually helping people. They care about, oh, I want that Nobel Peace Prize. I want to have that image. I want to be in the state of helping somebody while not even helping them. Like a doctor will say, "Oh, this is your problem," and the guy will say, "No, this is my problem. I should take herbs." No, that's not right. But bitch, aren't you a doctor? Aren't you supposed to help the person? But you can't because your ego's involved. Because since you have so much of a hatred for natural holistic healing, even if that means they're gonna heal, and this is how some doctors think, even though this is gonna make them heal, you're gonna say that's not tested and that's not gonna work. And secretly, they'll be mad that that shit worked. That shit worked for you. Some of these doctors are evil pieces of shit. You got to keep that in mind. You seen what happened in 2020 with that fucking that what's that? I don't want to say his name. He started with the F. That Doctor F. That fucking faggot. F for faggot. They remember him? That's most of the doctors in this fucking country, especially in 2024. Back in 10, 15 years ago, if you were a doctor, okay, the information wasn't really there. But we in 2024, if you're a doctor in 2024, you're a piece of shit because you know holistic healing is the way. You know that. There's doctors that have YouTube channels and videos and said they quit. They quit. The nigga said he quit being a neurosurgeon after like a year of working because he realized the medical industry is fake. He's like, we don't need any of this. We need everything's in nature. Everything is the body can heal through fasting, through nature, herbs. So they quit. So this, you guys understand, like a lot of these doctors, they pieces of shit out here. They're not helping nobody, but just trying to get money. The only thing a doctor can do that's good and beautiful that I respect is give somebody a prescription to some Xanax or some fucking lean, and that's if they want to get high and they're an addict. That's the only good thing a doctor can do, and they'll only be good if they do that to somebody who wanted to get it, like somebody who's addicted to lean or they're an addict or they like drugs. That's the only good thing he can do is give a nigga a prescription to some fucking some heroin or some lean. Other than that, a doctor can't do shit. And it's the funny thing is, they won't any addict who voluntarily wants to go to a doctor to get drugs, they won't give them drugs. But let it be somebody who's on a healing spiritual path who doesn't want that shit, they'll shove it down their throat and try to force them to get it. See how backwards it is? You could be a drug addict and walk into a pharmacy and they'll be like, oh, you can't get drugs. We'll call the police on you. But it'll be somebody who's trying to get their health together. They'll give them all the worst drugs in the world. You might as well give the drugs to the nigga whose health is fucked up. He wants it, but you're going to go ruin somebody else. That's how backwards this fucking world is. Like, right, because it's bad because most people don't even realize the blockages are never going to. Okay, I think I read that one. For real. Like, that's just how it is. And in society, they make money off blockages. They capitalize off that through making people waste time so they don't wake up. Then now, when you have blockages, you need to consume more at a higher rate. This is why, like, this is why you'll see some rich people, they need to have all the designer shit. And then you see some rich people, they don't need to have any of it. I don't want to say a poor and a rich person because people will say that's kind of biased because a poor person doesn't care about money because they can't make it or they just don't care. That's why they don't have money. A rich person, they care. That's why. But I want to give you an example of two rich people, two people who got millions. So when you put it like that, there's no bias involved, and it's nigga. These niggas both have money. They could both do the same thing, but one chooses not to. One of them has more blockages than the other. One of them has less vital force energy going through them than the other. What you call that, chi prana, whatever. It has. That's why they need material things more. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Don't look at it like it's demonic, devilish, or that. Even though it could be. But also not having nothing could be demonic. You could be butt naked with nothing in the street. But I'm just trying to tell you what it is. So one person doesn't have no fucking, he has less vital forces, energy going through them. So they need to consume more. They need more fucking food and more things. That's why you see some people like they need more food than the average person. They need to have more things. I remember growing up, like my brother and stuff, like we'll always have something and he'll always run out before I'll do when I was growing up. Like, would it be weed? I remember we used to have like just different things. Like, we were growing up, we used to have like fucking like eat, like bring Slim Jims. We used to be addicted to those. And then we used to bring we used to like save them from school and bring it home. And then we'll have like a party and eat them. And it's funny because he'll always eat his and come and eat mine. And then as we got older, it'll be like weed. Like I'll have weed and he'll smoke his shit and ask for mine. Like he always consume it when it comes to food. And like even like I have a video game and then it'll be I have it for like a month, handheld PSP, and then it'll be good, and I give it to him for like 20 minutes, and it'll be all dirty and have a scratch on it. I'm like, every time that like he'll always be used up, like he's hyper consumption of shit. And like there's some people just like when they consume so much of something, and like that has to do with this. Like I said, like that's just how people are. Some people they need more to be happy and be of like to feel more fulfilled. So that's really what it is. And it has to do with a lot of it has to do with blockages as well. Because if you're really truly, because blockages really state, I'm not saying you're gonna always be happy 24/7 because that's not gonna really be. But at the same time, just because you're not happy 24/7, you're not. It doesn't mean you have to be sad those other times. You could just be in a state where it's like when you drunk and when you're under the influence of alcohol. You could be somebody. Could be somebody who's crying or angry while they're under the influence, but they still have a feeling of euphoria while they're under the influence. You see what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. Like you could always still like just because you don't have blockages doesn't mean you always be happy, but you're always gonna have a state of content and well being even amidst the chaos. You should have that. So this is what contributes to you not needing as much. When you see a monk, a Buddhist monk, or fuck a Buddhist monk, that may sound like bullshit. But when you see somebody who takes on those qualities, and I don't even say that because a lot of these motherfuckers like they ain't shit. So I don't want to promote that shit. But when you go into like certain communities and you see like breatharians, because look at the breatharians for example. Fuck what they believe in and all that other shit, but look at their actions and what they do. When you see everything that they're doing, you may look at them like they don't really need shit, and you're looking at them from a state like, oh, they don't need anything. What a life to live. That's boring. That's they don't have shit. They're not doing nothing. But they look at you the same way, and like I can look at people the same way because you need all that shit to be happy. Which at the end of the day, both ways is perfectly fine. Do what the fuck you want to do, but don't think that somebody who's living a life of like these when you see Breatharian and they're like living their life the way they do, and don't let society make you think that this person just like no, that person's probably having a better time than you because like they're able to for you to be in that much. Just like the closest example is when you high off fucking weed. There's certain things you can do when you have drugs. There's certain things you can do that you won't do when you're sober because when you're sober, it's just fucking not fun. So if somebody's able to cultivate that level of peace and contempt in their life where they don't need anything, obviously they're doing something. And it's not like they can't fucking go out and do the shit that person's doing. If the nigga wants to go fucking, I don't know, get a fucking car and have fun, do whatever, he can just go and do that right now. It's not like they're strapped from it. But one thing that person who is addicted to things they can't do is detach. That's going to take a lot more harder work than the person. It probably this equivalent really, because once you detach to a certain level, it actually causes pain. Like I remember when I was smoking weed like a year ago, I was fasting like crazy, and I smoked. And when I smoke, usually when you take that first hit, it hits your brain and you feel like a sense of euphoria and you feel like relaxed. After going on a long extended fast, that same when I took a hit, I felt pain. Like all what pleasure is actually pain. Anything that causes you pleasure, it's really causing you pain. But when you go on a long fast and you cleanse the body, you're able to feel that pain. But you get used to the pain because you're doing it all the time. This is why, and you can't tell me I'm lying because a lot of these things I'm telling you that cause you pain, they're actually bad for the body, but they make you feel good. But they really don't make you feel good. Your body just adjusted to it. Because when you're in a distraught state, you can take a lot more um, negative things and not feel the reaction. This is why when you're have a lot of pain, you have a higher dose of medication. The more blockage and dysfunction you have internally, the more you can consume bullshit. This is why the more pain you have, the higher the dosage. But if you have a little bit of pain and you take a high dosage, you go to OD. So it's kind of correlated and connected to that. Like, and I kind of forgot where I was going. I'm kind of going all over the place. Yeah, I think I was talking about the blockages and everything, how like the different levels of it and shit. But yeah, the less you give a fuck, the more blockage you get released from social pressures. Yeah, the less you do, and then as you start, and when you stop giving a fuck, like I said, because you'll even have people that'll kind of try to test you, test your gangster, and be like, oh, does he really not give a fuck? Let's go and say some shit. So that's why you gotta just keep staying strong. Cause motherfuckers will still try to test you and shit. And it's not about just like not giving a fuck and just leaving. You gotta be able, even when somebody tries to test you, just be like, I don't give a fuck, nigga. Like that's when the real test comes in. When somebody tries to test you while you're not giving a fuck and how you respond to it. Cause I don't even like, cause me, at this point right now, I've been through so much shit in my life to actually give a fuck what anybody thinks. Like for real. Like I've been through so much. Like even when I look back, like a year ago, I'm like, how the fuck was I not doing my qigong? I was doing like I would always do my qigong in the house, or I wouldn't do it like out and about. But it's like I do that shit. I don't give a fuck. I do that shit anywhere right now. Like it doesn't phase me. Like it's to the point where like. Because before, the reason I didn't do it before is not that every time I do it outside, like I'll be like, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna do it outside, and I'll do it outside and not give a fuck. But then I won't be able to focus on my qigong because I'll be kind of like hoping like no one's looking and shit and stuff. So that right there was another battle. So when I said I wasn't doing it outside, it wasn't that I couldn't. It just I wouldn't. It was hard for me to focus. But as you, as I guess I think it's because of qigong, but whatever it is, just me just not giving a fuck no more as well. Like I'm able to focus more in it, where I'll be forgetting motherfuckers is around me while I'm doing it. So it's about getting into that focus and not being distracted. Because not giving a fuck is not being distracted, because they want you being distracted on shit that they want you to give a fuck about. 99% of things in life and on social media are not important. You got to always remember that, like, 99% of shit on social media is not important. Like, social media right now is like a big, like, experiment right now. They just have anything and everything on it, and it's just shit to distract you. This is why they pay content creators millions, thousands, just to do stupid shit like fucking this dumb shit. They talk about retarded shit, gaming, travel vlogs, fucking train collecting sex, just shit that's not important, because they need your attention. Because each moment, each time, each hour you're wasting on watching something that's not giving you knowledge, you're not gonna get that back. And you're watching somebody live their life, and then this is where they want everybody at. Like you see how everybody, like right now, all Gen Z, they talk about, oh, I'm not going to work and we're at home. But what's Gen Z doing? They're all on the internet, they're all on social media watching videos. So they're still making somebody rich, but they're probably not making them as rich as if they were on the plantations generating taxes. But this is why they're trying to change up the system, so it can, like, they can kind of transition everything and probably put the jobs online and shit. Because I don't think they're gonna just let Gen Z just not work. Like, and then this is why I say people need to just, because you don't need any, like these Masons, these Jews, you don't need them. Like, you don't need them at all. Like their shit, their time is done, is over. So like people at this point need to just wake the fuck up for their own sake. Okay, let me read some more of these comments. Then I'm gonna have to dip. When the trauma is intense and the people ignore it for so long, it manifests into a blockage, a disease. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, she said it right. That's exactly, that's the reason how, in order for a block, and I'm glad you said it, because in order for a blockage to get to that severe where it's a disease, is because part of it, I'll say, because some of it comes from past lives and you being born with this shit, but it comes from, like, you have a disease, you're something you're not dealing with, and when you don't deal with it, it gets worse. Because when you don't deal with a blockage, it gets worse, and it can get worse to where it can cause physical harm, or it can cause uh, um create a situation where you end up getting harmed. So it'll lead you in a certain position, because when you have blockages, you have mental anguish, you're going to be led to a place and a thing, a place, a situation that could be detrimental, or it can fuck your health up. So you got to keep that in mind. She doesn't. Yeah. Jackie knew said her grandma made her go to a therapist. Okay. Yeah, I fucking hate therapists. Shit. I hate therapists. I would never go to a therapist again. Not in my life. And it's not that the concept of somebody, if there was somebody who actually intelligent enough and smart enough, shit, I couldn't help but to get help from them because they're going to be speaking some real shit. So at that point, it wouldn't be a therapist. It'd be just somebody just fucking helping me at that point. And at that point, I couldn't speak anything back because whatever they said helped me. But you just the therapists are retarded, and most of them got mental illness themselves. Like every fucking therapist I've seen throughout my life, when I look back now, when I was younger, and I look back now, they all had mental illness. They all showed signs of mental illness. They all had weird vibes, and like a lot of these motherfuckers are just piece of shit humans, and they shouldn't even be as a therapist. Like, how are you a therapist? You don't even have the same I don't even know the word for it. They don't even have the same. I don't want to say care, but like interest or like it's like you could just tell like they're just there for a check. And it's not like they're just there because even if they wanted to, they couldn't even be a good therapist because they're just fucking stupid. They're just dumb. Anything they'll tell you is gonna be what the textbook said. And then the worst thing is, therapist is so much money. Shit costs so much money. What they have to do is, and I'm about to go in a minute, guys. What they have to do is they have to make it where they get. This is why you have free healthcare, like Medicaid and all these welfare programs with low income health. Anytime somebody who's in a low income or who doesn't have money to spend, like $300 an hour to spend, they send them to the low income, and then those people are like the flunkies and the dropouts and the failures of therapy school, and that's why you get them for free. So you're not even getting good therapists, most people, unless you're gonna spend money. And the ones you spend money on, they're still fucking retarded. So it's just all around fucking dumb. But I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna end this live stream, guys. This was good. I might come back a little bit later, but I'm out. Peace.